Good afternoon, everybody. Ron here at the Polish Pickle. Haven't had a video on for a long time because I've been busy. I have a new hobby, one that I started way back in 1963 in Governor Mifflin High School. Back then it was known as a novice, and it was all Morse code. And I learned it in school, 1963, 1964 time frame, and was interested in it. But then I graduated, I went to Penn State, and then I went in the Army for 20 years, as you can tell. I came back out, became a geocacher, and met a couple in the geocaching club, if you want to call it a club, that were into ham radio. Well, I found out that you no longer needed Morse code. So I decided to ask them if they could help me become a ham radio operator. Well, the one guy, Glenn, said, "I will teach you." So I became a technician. I passed my test in June of last year, and he kept pushing me to become a general. Now, there are 3 stages of being a ham operator. The first stage is a technician. You don't have to do Morse code anymore, but you're very, very limited to what frequencies and what bands you can work on. So he talked me into becoming a general. So I went back to school, and come August of last year, I passed my general test. Well, it gets in your blood. General on a ham radio opens up a whole lot of frequencies, so I could talk across the world, and I was very happy with that. Well, I told them I didn't want to go anymore. I was done studying. I mean, at 70, I didn't want to go to school anymore. But it kind of got to me. I enjoyed sitting on the couch, sitting in my easy chair, going over and over and over the test. Well, 2 weeks ago, I passed. And I put a couple pictures on Facebook of me holding my license, and right there, I'm going to insert the picture of me holding my new license. I am now an extra. That's as high as you can go. Well, last night I had a meeting with the board of directors, and now I'm eligible to become a tester for ham radio. So I asked last night, how do I go ahead and become a VE? That's an examiner. And they told me what I got to do, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, this should be an easy test. It's an open book test. But since doing that, way back in the 1960s, when I was first into CB radio, we did a thing called fox hunting. Now, fox hunting is not exactly fox hunting. It's also known as bunny hunting. It actually is transmit hunting. And there are so many ham radio operators in every city that you get to a point where you've got bad operators. And what they do is, as you're talking to one of your friends, or you're talking on one of the repeaters in the area, they key over top of you. Well, they're rogue operators. So a fox hunt is actually using a special antenna, a Yagi antenna it's called, and I'll show you one in a minute, and find these guys by using a radio transmitter itself, putting on the frequency that he's talking on, and following the antenna to his house. Well, we started in Pottstown. I went to a couple of their fox hunts, had a good time. 1 or 2 of them we actually couldn't find. Pottstown in Pennsylvania really is in a little hilly and mountainous area, so we were getting signals bouncing all over the mountains, but we were learning every time we went down. So I decided to have one here in Reading. I had quite a few guys show up. I believe there were 7 or 8 of them show up to learn how to fox hunt. We started at the tower in Reading, and the first one went off pretty good. We only had, I believe, 1 or 2 guys actually get lost. We hid the transmitter at Blue Marsh, so that was very familiar to me because I volunteer out at Blue Marsh. And then we had another one that was kind of hidden behind a mountain, and we had another 7 show up for that one, and they hunted for the fox, and we now have 9 foxes. They range from 50 milliwatts, which is a very, very tiny fox, and I'll show you one here in a minute, to a 5-watt fox, which I will also show you in about a minute. So first of all, here's the antennas you use for fox hunting. There is the antenna you use. It's a directional antenna. It has a radio on the bottom, and my radio happens to be the Yaesu, excuse me, and it's got a 4 megahertz offset, which turns the radio off frequency and gives you a better reading. Now this, as you can see, is a 3-element beam. So you have 1, 2, 3. There's 3 elements on this. These cost about $120 online. So I come home, a friend of mine got the 2-element Yagi, and I decided, hey, I can make one of them. So I went out and got myself some arrows, aluminum arrows. That's all they are. They're aluminum arrows. And I made a 2-element beam. Well, this works the same way. As you can see, you hook the radio up right there, and it works the same way. It's a lot lighter. It does the same job, but you really can't transmit on this. On a 3-element beam, you can actually transmit and direct your transmission to a point. So that's what I've been doing. Been doing fox hunting, been doing ham radio. Now stand by and I'll show you what the 2 different foxes look like. Okay, back at you. Here is a 50 milliwatt fox. That's what it looks like. And all you do is you turn it on with a little switch and it sends out a signal. That's actually how small it is with the battery included right there. You can see what frequency I have it on, so I don't forget. And we set this out in the woods. We let the guys with those antennas go hunt for it. Well, I'm going to turn this on, and in the background, you're going to hear what this thing sounds like. There it is. I got the scanner on in the background, and that's this transmitting. So that's what they go hunt for. Now these are legal, and I have a warning on there to prove that this is a transmitter for fox hunting and who the owner is. Now it'll shut off. Wait about 15 seconds and start back up again. So they're able to hunt for this thing. Here is another one. This is also a fox. Turning it on. If you hear that in the background, that's this one. Again, the same warning on the side to tell people that this is a fox. This also transmits for about 40 seconds, and then it gives the call sign of me, my call sign, K3RJW, and it does it in Morse. There it is. And they hunt for this out in the woods. Now this is 700 milliwatts, so it's a lot larger. That the other one was 50. Here's our big one. This is a 5-watt Fox. It's got a radio, transmitters inside, and this we can hunt for from a distance of about 12 to 15 miles. With the antenna, high frequency. So that's what I've been doing. Now I've gotten pretty good in it. I want to pat myself on the shoulder. Pottstown, I stand corrected. Mannheim, right here in Pennsylvania, has a radio club that has offered for me to come down and teach them how to fox hunt. So come September, I'll be taking my friend down to Mannheim, and we're going to give them about a 30-minute class on how to fox hunt. I'll be taking my equipment down, I'll be taking the foxes down, and maybe even hide one and let them go look for it. Now September does get a little dark, and they said they want to do it at 7 o'clock. So unless we have a lit field, that might be a little shaky. Maybe when I get down there, we'll be able to set up a different day. It's on a Tuesday night, so maybe we can go that Saturday morning or something like that to teach them how to fox hunt. I'll take my 3 foxes down, set them up, and let them hunt for it. I do make these antennas. If you were to buy that 2-element beam online, it'd probably be $60 or more. I sell them way less than that. So if you're interested in 2-beam antennas, yeah, I can ship them, but you got to pay for shipping too. So anything above that, the coax that's included. I don't sell the offset attenuators, but you got to use your own radio and make your own coax. Thing that's nice about it, the connection for the coax is a regular PL259. That doesn't mean a lot to a lot of you people, but it does to ham radio operators, CB operators. That's what I've been doing. Sorry I haven't been on YouTube for a long time, but like I said, I was going to school, I was learning how to become a ham, and I was taking my tests. So that's it. I'm kind of back. So I've got two things going for me right now. I got the hiking, I've got the bushwhacking, and I've got ham radio. So it's been keeping me busy. I'm a very happy guy. Thanks all for watching. Give me a thumbs up. And hey, you guys up there in Nova Scotia, if you happen to watch this thing, give me a call sometime on 20 meters, usually down around 7.250. I hang out there a lot. So give me a call, K3RJW. That's me. Thank you all. Bye-bye.